Welcome everybody to the GT3 Championship here at Road Atlanta. This is the Broken Ring Racing League, and we got looks like Chris Lambeth not doing so well in practice. You know, ambition over adhesion is a key to success here at Road Atlanta. We're about to get underway, and underway should be just in a few moments. We will jump over to the qualifying session. It's gonna be 10 minutes, about 10 seconds left to go on free practice. Interesting enough about free practice, we have Powell Langer in P1 and Matt Shack P2, Colin Luckhurst in 3, Joshua Grasso right behind, and Eddie Layton, Travis Valdez, Eric Rodriguez, Trey Mistack, Cody Wasson, Josh Willis, Tyler Tier, and Miller, all actually going further down the line all the way to Noah Hoskinson. A lot of drivers sitting in the 118s. So very close grid indeed. Should be interesting to see what happens here. We'll pop over to one of the, focus on the leader here. Let's just take a look and see who's going out first. And it looks to be Andrew Korostecki. I got that right. Or it's Eric Rodriguez. Boom, it's Eric Rodriguez. I was right this second time around. And just a second there, the overlays were a little off. And currently everybody's out on their outlap, so it's going to be a little bit of a snail's pace until we get to Eric Rodriguez going down the start straight finish for his first timed lap, as well as Travis Valdez in the background. And further back is Trey Mistack, also going out on a push tap. The one thing you probably want to do, which is what sometimes you don't see drivers do it, is giving yourself a little bit extra room on that gap before pushing out there. You can see Travis Valdez has at least a comfortable difference of 2.2 seconds. That's very key. And it looks like Eric Rodriguez did just fine there. Nothing over egregious on terms of track limits just yet. So I think this is going to be a really good push lap for him. We'll jump on board and see what he's going through. And the time to beat would be a 1:17.7, I believe. That was done in practice. We're going to be seeing at least the top, 12 to 14 drivers all doing 118s across the board on the 118s, but you're really going to want to separate yourself by putting yourself in the 117s to be in the top 5. As Eric Rodriguez has gone across the line, he does set a time of 1:18.8. And Travis Valdez back in P2 set a time for 1:18.4. Paulo Langer across the line. Matt Scheck just crosses the line and goes fastest overall. That's exactly what you would see from the provisional leader of the GT3 Championship, Matt Shack, who also just won the last race as well, and I believe the race before that, a 1:17.9. Like I said, you really need the 1:17s to separate yourself. Miller, car number 828. I don't know how to say that last name. He is done P3 with a 1:18.4. Travis Valdez drops down to P4. Eric Nabarani does a 1:19 even. Trey Mistack in P7. Kyle Aiken with a 1:19. Tyler Tier crosses line, goes fifth fastest. And then Kyle Aiken in P9 with a 1:19. Cody Wasson with a 1:19.1. Eddie Layton P11 with a 119.2. David Gauntlet with a 120. He goes into the pits. That's going to be a bit of a shake-up there. I mean, David Gauntlet's just putting in one lap and calling it good. Steve McAllister goes 13th fastest with a 120.8. 121.1 from Chris Lambeth. And across the line goes a driver. Not sure which driver that was. Oh, that's Eddie Layton. Faster this last lap with a 118.2. Andrew Korostecki crosses the line with a 118.8. And Kyle Aiken overtakes Eric Nabarani for P10. And Noah Hoskinson crosses the line with a 113, or 119.4 and P14. As we got another Colin Luckhurst just crossed the line, and now he's in the pits, but he just did a 118 even. Steve McAllister in P15 with a 120. David Gauntlet, Chris Lambert, Cody Wasson goes fastest over Eric Nabharani. I'm gonna get that one. Scott Neiman across the line for... That is a very beautiful livery, whatever that is. In the Ferrari with a 120.4. Joey Jr. crosses the line. And Josh Willis also crosses the line. Joey Jr. goes P8 with a 118.5. Joshua Willis goes 118.3. Tyler Langer he's actually improved upon his last lap, but not so much that it's going to change anything. Eddie Layton crosses the line. He goes third fastest. He was 4/10 faster on that last lap, and that puts him into P3 over Colin Luckhurst. Barely, mind you. That was a 118.078, and Colin Luckhurst did a 118.097. Separated by a couple thousandths of a second. And looking at it here, we have Eric Rodriguez, who's about 3/10 faster on this last lap. And, ooh, as we have Craig Carroll off in the grass there. I'm just going to be rejoining the track very safely. Cody Wasson goes faster with a 118.7, keeping himself in P10. Tyler Tier has not improved upon his last lap, but he's back out there. David Gauntlet goes faster with a P18. Scott Neiman overtakes him back with a 119.6. Tyler Tier out of the teens and into the tens. He goes 118.5 with a P9. I don't think tens works in the manner I just said it does, but, you know, I said it. Eric Rodriguez goes 11th fastest, overtaking Cody Wasson. Now they're down to P12 for Cody Wasson. Eric Rodriguez in 11th. Anybody's gambit on what's going to happen next. Shake Shack Mac has not been out at all since he's put on that perfect little lap. Paolo Langer's gone faster with the 117.976, but he's still behind by a couple thousandths of a second. It's unfortunate. It doesn't look like he's going to do much. Colin Luckhurst is actually half a second faster. He's 6/10 faster. Actually, he's 7/10 faster. He's going into the final corner, and this could mean this driver shakes up the top order. Colin Luckhurst across the line only goes third fastest, going 7/10 faster on this lap, puts him in third place. And that is a great lap from Colin Luckhurst. Craig Carroll puts in a P18 with a 119.1. And we have two drivers. Joey Jr. going fastest through that last one, his fastest lap, and that puts him in P5 over Joshua Grasso by just 1/10. Robert A. Avent and Zachary Bryant are the only drivers on the grid that have not actually set a time. Craig Carroll goes to P14 from P18 with that last lap. Oh, and a little bit of ambitious there. And he takes it with stride. But I think he's going to go back to the pits on that one. And this is no longer car number 12. But he is still Miller something. Duraggio. But he is going to pull off. Nope. Craig Mistack crosses the line. The P6 goes faster this round. 118.2. And we got Travis Valdez, who's crossing the line right now. He's 1.4 seconds faster on this lap. He goes to P11, P5, from P11 to P5. Holy. That's a 118.1 out of him. And that is quite the lap to make happen right here with less than 45 seconds left to go on the clock on quali. And he's actually going a lot faster right now. It looks like he's still pushing another lap out. He's almost a full second faster right now in Sector 3. If he keeps this up, we could be seeing this driver go to P1 with this lap. It is possible. He's got the pace. He's definitely got the speed. His fuel must be really light right now because he's definitely glistening on this track right now. And that is still a full second faster on this lap. He's going to go from P5 across the line. Where does he end up? I have no idea. All that hype for nothing. It looks like he does not secure himself the bag on that one. Must have had an off track. I don't know, but he was faster by a full second. That's truly unfortunate for Travis Valdez, who could have been on the top step with that. He did a 118.1, and that would have put him at a 117.1, faster by 9/10 than the driver who did a 117.9. But mistakes occurred. And we are done with qualifying, as we are about to start. And Eric Nabarani still out there on the track. But nope, that's the end of the session. And we got Matt Shack in P1, Paulo Lenger in P2, Colin Luckhurst in P3, Eddie Layton in P4, Travis Valdez in P5, Joey Jr. in P6. And I'll pop up the results here just so we can take a look at that. Joey Jr. P6, Trey Mistak in P7, Joshua Grosso P8, Cody Wassam in P9, Joshua Willis in P10, Miller in P11, Tyler Tier in P12, Eric Rodriguez P13, Greg Carroll in P14, Noah Hodgkinson in P15, Andrew Korsecki in 16, Kyle Aiken in P17, Eric Nabarani in P18, Scott Neiman in 19, David Gauntlett in 20, Steve McAllister in 21, Chris Lambeth in 22, Robert Event in 23, and Zachary Bryan in 24. Both those last two drivers did not set a time on the board, so we did not take a look at them make anything happen. But maybe they'll make something happen in this race. All it takes is to be a little bit more consistent and to not put in the wall. Sometimes that matters more than anything. We're going to focus on whatever happens, happens. There's a lot of drivers on the grid. And we're just missing one, and then we're about to go green. And there they are. And we'll take a little helicopter cam. Start this race so we can see anything that happens. Anything abrupt, as it might be. And the safety car is off, and we're about to go rolling. Matt Shack is going to take us across the line, and it looks like he's already going. And a shift has already happened, as we have Eddie Layton in P4. Travis Valdez on the inside. They might go 3 wide there. They almost do. Nobody comes to blows there. That is fantastic racing. As Joey Jr. holds into P5. And positions already made up for some of the drivers in the back of the pack. As this is just a windy S of cars going single file. It's going to be interesting to see who makes the move first. Is it Joey Jr.? Is it Travis Valdez right behind him in that black car? It looks like he's holding another driver off. I think that's Joshua Grosso. Joshua Grosso has pushed up a couple of positions. He is P7 from P8. Couple, just one, but... And things are still moving. Everybody in that tow. Looks like somebody's going to try to go onto the outside there. And then there goes Joey Jr. diving in on Paulo Langer. No, that's Eddie Layton. Sorry. Overtakes Eddie Layton for P4. And 1, 2, and 3 are walking away slightly. As you could definitely see Colin Luckhurst's melon head of a helmet there in P2. Joey Jr. is going to find himself a little bit of reprieve as he's breaking away from Eddie Layton just by a couple tenths there. Not enough, though. And Joshua Grosso definitely on the heels of Travis Valdez. Could be any wonder if he's going to try to go for a move. And then you have Trey Mistak at the... I would say it's a little gap forming here. We're going to have the end of the group there from P4 to P7. And then Trey Mistak in P8 kind of towing a bunch of people around with him like a little train service. That is who's behind him, all the way back to Miller there in car number 12. I think that's Andrew Korstecki or Eric Rodriguez. Can't tell. They have similar liveries, folks. But Joshua Grosso, still no move made, but he is 3/10 back. He definitely could make a move. Looking at two different drivers, or two of the same class cars, the Audi. So... matched on performance of the vehicle itself. Setups are going to be a little different, but thought he had it in him to make something happen a little bit closer. He did look like he was making a move going into this corner right here 2 laps ago, but he might just be trying to stay tagged along to this little train. He's very confident going into that corner. And Trey Mistak in P8 with Joshua Willis, Cody Wassam, Tyler Tier Miller just behind, and Eric Rodriguez. That was Eric Rodriguez. And Craig Carroll behind him in P14. See, just in the background there, that yellow hood is Craig Carroll. Just behind him is Andrew Korstecki. Is on with Cody Wassam, the third driver in this little DRS train, has been formed. Their pace is about equal. They're all doing about 119 fours, 119 evens now, as actually the last lap. Cody Wassam did an 18.9, so he's definitely got the speed sitting behind Joshua Willis. But can he make a move? It's anybody's guess. We just pop over to... focusing on the most exciting parts of this race, folks. It's still back to Cody Wassam, who's sitting in P10, who started P12. And now onto Tyler Tier, who's definitely on the heels, as well as Miller back there. Oh, and something happened to Craig Carroll, as Eric Rodriguez and Andrew Korstecki are the only drivers right there. It's unfortunate what happened to Craig Carroll there. He's dropped back to P20. It's definitely unfortunate for him. Paulo Langer going side by side with Colin Luckhurst. Is it possible? The move is on. Colin Luckhurst stays P2 but just barely. Travis Valdez goes ahead of Joey Jr. Is that right? No. P5. That was P5? That's a tricky one. Oh, Eddie Layton. It's hard to say. Somebody made a mistake, and Travis Valdez and Joshua Grosso capitalized on that. And what's it look like going on board with one of these drivers? You got a driver 6/10 behind you, a driver just on board. Oh, we have Eric Navarani, who's off to the side there. That's unfortunate for him. That's rough. Noah Hodgkinson in P16. He actually goes to P15 off of that. And whoa, we have a driver right there, Cody Wassam, who's side by side with Joshua Willis in P9. Is Cody Wassam going to try to make a move on this driver? And it looks like a couple drivers try to slot out and make a move, but slot back in. Nothing yet has happened. In a track that is somewhat difficult to pass, you can kind of expect it in a couple corners, for sure, at the end of a couple straights. But nobody yet has made, you know, some big brain moves. As that group of drivers right behind Miller are starting to close the gap. Miller has a 1.3 second gap to Eric Rodriguez, but that's closing just enough. And he's actually losing out a little bit, but actually just regains it going out of the exit of that corner to Tyler Tier. And it even looks like Eric Rodriguez still slightly off from him. As you can just see the accordion effect of some of these drivers. Scott Neiman goes off the track there. That's unfortunate for him. And then Powell Langer, Colin Luckers. Colin Luckers is on the defensive. Once again, they're going side by side, too wide, into the penultimate corner. Who's going to be able to take it? It's not Powell Langer. He's trying to make the move, but happened once before, and it failed. And there goes Colin Luckers again ahead of him, defending like a lion there. And Colin Luckers stays P2. And Paulo Langer now has to worry about the back end there as we have Travis Valdez about to go side by side with Joey Jr. Joey Jr. has to take the runoff. And there goes Joshua Grosso trying to go for the attack as well. No! Joey Jr. loses many positions. Oh, and there's another one where he's going side by side. And that goes by Trey Mistak, I believe. What a move for that driver. Joey Jr. now slotted back into the back of this top 10. That is unfortunate for him. Travis Valdez picks up P4. And now the hunt is on. Joshua Grosso has not made a move against Travis Valdez, but he's followed him in to some of these really aggressive plays. It almost looked like he was going to make a move there as we have Joey Jr. going right past Trey Mistak and takes that back with ease. Oh, and then there goes Joshua Willis down into turn in the penultimate corner. He goes by, he slots through, and he's done. Is that Cody Wassam? Is he going to make a move on Trey Mistak? And unfortunate, Tyler Tier is going for the move. Cody Wassam doesn't even have to go for the move. He's got it done. Trey Mistak is just losing positions left and right to some of these drivers, and that is just unfortunate. You let the door open for one, and several more came running through by. That is just, oh, what a thing to see. Tyler Tier's definitely going to be itching to get by. He knows he can try to make a move here. And he goes, oh, he pulls back just slightly. But is he going to try to make the move on him down into that straightaway? Jumping on board with Tyler Tier It's anyone's guess if he's going to try to make that move. And there goes Paulo Langer against Colin Luckhurst. Overtakes him on the straightaway. And just behind, Joshua Grosso goes by Travis Rodez. But he's slow. Eddie Layton's right behind. Can he make that stick? Eddie Layton battling it out with Travis Valdez, but doesn't make the move. Unfortunately, is going to have to stay slotted behind. But Travis Valdez goes to P5 as Joshua Grosso just bounces up to P4, making the move, calculated as can be. He definitely made it work. And he was a little slow in that exit, but just so much of the car was in the way. There's not much space. They could have gone ahead of him when he was slow. But, oh, just a little on the... little rocky, I guess, to say there. And Tyler Tier not making a move just yet, but this little group has been stayed connected. They're all equal on pace. And I would assume these two are teammates, Andrew Korostecki and Eric Rodriguez, as they're not teammates. They're in different cars. They just have blue liveries. Where's that purple? And Eric Rodriguez goes by Andrew Korostecki. No, Andrew Korostecki goes by Eric Rodriguez in the Ferrari. But that's something you'd see on a straightaway from a Ferrari onto the Porsche. But there goes Eric Rodriguez trying to fight back, but not too much as he goes by, stays with it. Oh, and there's Eric Rodriguez being overtaken by Noah Hodgkinson as well. And there goes P14 for him. And that unfortunate mistake that happened just a couple of turns ago into Sector 1. Joey Jr. down to P7, but making his way back up the order. He's 6/10 off of Eddie Layton, and believe you me, he's going to catch him. And, you know, he's already going 6/10 faster. He's already 4/10 faster than Eddie Layton on the last lap. He's just going to find himself a good toe, close that gap, and maybe make the move again like he has been right here at this corner. Maybe in a few more laps, we'll definitely see that. He's been pretty clean. And out here in front is Matt Shack with a 3.6 second gap to Paulo Langer in P2 and Colin Luckhurst in P3. Eric Rodriguez and Noah Hodgkinson battling it back out, and Eric Rodriguez goes ahead. This takes P14 right back. That's a battle that's going to continue to happen throughout the race. They're equal on pace, and we'll definitely see a couple more of that happening. Joshua Grosso in P4 has extended himself not so much. He's 6/10 faster, or 6/10 ahead of Travis Valdez, which isn't enough. He's still sitting in that toe. And in the background, you can see Joey Jr. definitely contemplating how he's going to be able to get past all these drivers and get back into the top 4. Travis Valdez not having to worry too much from the driver behind him, Eddie Layton, who is still with him by 4/10. But not much has happened just yet. Back there in the back, though, is Joshua Willis, who has this little train behind him. Cody Wassom's been on him like glue since the start of this race, and they have not changed positions. I don't know if that's a gentleman's agreement, but nothing has happened between these two. Their pace, seriously strong. Joshua Willis did a 119 even, and Cody Wassom did a 118.8. So he's, 2/10 faster than Joshua Willis, technically. But he is in the toe, so that counts for a little bit of it. And there goes Andrew Korostecki. Down on the inside. We've seen this move happen many times before in this race, but is Andrew Korostecki going to get by? Gets by cleanly on Miller. Car number 828. No longer car number 12, but there goes Andrew Korostecki in P12. And Noah Hoskinson just up over the crest there in the penultimate corner. He's reeling in Eric Rodriguez, who's 3/10 ahead of him. He's definitely going to try to find a way to make a move in that Ferrari. And the battle that was happening so fervently between these two drivers is now really backed off. Colin Luckhurst is 1.3 seconds back from Pablo Langer. Joshua Grosso is 3 seconds behind P3. And then Travis Valdez really just losing out the pace there to driver ahead of him. He's now got the entire back of the field here up until P13 behind him from P5, and they're all just looking to have a go. That is a lot of drivers all keeping similar pace, and yet no one's really making a move just yet. But is that... I spoke too soon. There goes Joey Jr. down the inside line, overtakes Eddie Layton for P6, and there goes Joshua Willis. And, you know, when you're caught napping, a lot of drivers might try to make a move, take advantage of that. But not Eddie Layton. He defends his position from Josh Willis. Does not let another driver by. But one was enough. You know, the damage was dealt. And Joey Jr. A couple more positions back to where he was. He's just got to keep pushing. And Scott Neiman goes to P17 off of Chris Lambert just behind him. Those two drivers have been battling it out. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, whoa. We got ourselves a jumper. Scott Neiman has definitely some connectivity issues, as it looked like he was out of this race just a moment ago, but there he is. He's back. And he's still ahead of Chris Lambert. Now Travis Valdez still holding P5. Is he going to be able to maintain P5? He's got Joey Jr. right there in the background. And it is going to be scary to see what this driver does. He has been cruising through the pack. And he has not really let up ever since he let Travis Valdez by. Going into the next turn here, turn 2, turn 3, he went into that runoff to avoid what was, you know, them going too wide through this sector. And it's just wasn't enough. I mean, good on Joey Jr. for going in the runoff and just taking it, losing the positions, but ultimately also having to concede a position to Travis Valdez. But now he's looking at Travis Valdez in his sights. He's right back there with him, and he's definitely not going to let that stand. I think he's going to do everything he can to push and overtake Travis Valdez as soon as possible. And we're almost close to approaching halfway through this race, and it has been plenty saucy with a lot of overtakes down into this sector, down at the end of this straight. Joey Jr. doesn't make a move just yet, but you can definitely feel how close he's getting to Travis Valdez here. And Trey Mistack looking to have a little poke, see what he can do, but ultimately concedes and stays right back into formation there. And Joey Jr. just really hot on the heels. He is separated by nothing at all. 1/10 maybe 2, but it's just him on him like glue. The move is about to happen. You can feel it. Travis goes for the defense. Is it going to be enough? He stays on the inside. Joey Jr. is going to stick to the outside, but he's going to have treatment down on the next corner, but he goes even further, trying to cut off Oh, no! They wreck! They come together! And Joey Jr. and Travis Valdez, oh no, and that is another driver, Miller. Miller is off. Travis Valdez and him collided at the... Oh no. I don't know what to say there, folks. That was a heated... And then there goes Miller flashing Travis Valdez, as he probably did not like what happened there. I'm not sure what happened there. But let's go back and take a look here. Oh, Travis moved in onto the racing line a little bit and ultimately took out Miller there. You hate to see it, folks. Eric Rodriguez no longer ahead of Noah Hodgkinson. At some point, Noah made the move stick, and there he is in P11. Tyler Tier in P10. Andrew Korostecki in P9. Trey Mistack in P8. And, you know, all those positions Trey Mistack lost just, you know, many laps ago. He's, you know, right back in the thick of it. Right behind Cody Wassam, which he was previously. So that's good news to see him still fighting. Cody Wassam in P7. And there goes Tyler Tier. Ahead of Andrew Korostecki, who goes into the pit lane. Maybe to serve his fuel already. Maybe taking fuel now. Try to undercut a bunch of the drivers. Miller also goes across the line ahead of Andrew Korostecki. Travis Valdez also going into the pit lane as well. We'll probably see a shake-up there. Craig Carroll goes 13th. Whoa! Craig Carroll has a little bit of cosmetic damage to the front end there. It might affect aero just slightly in that Lambo. And Chris Lambeth also going across the line and goes to P14. Joshua Willis able to hold back Cody Wassam this entire race. They've been just stuck on each other. It's quite interesting, to say the least. These Audis have made no moves, no strategic changes to the order here. They've just been together, and looks like some smoke, so a car must have gone off there. Definitely something happened. And there goes Cody Wassam into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit stop. And Eddie Layton stays out. Josh Willis stays out. Trey Mistack stays out. Tyler Tier stays out. And he's one of the few drivers. The stint is 19 laps. And so we only have a few drivers that have decided to go in. Joshua Grasso, he's P10 right now. And he was P4. So we'll definitely be interesting to see what he shakes up with. Matt Chak still holding P1. Our championship leader in the driver's championship right now is P1, and he's made no changes. And Korostecki goes across the line, takes a couple positions off that. Paulo Langer in P2, having to go against Scott Neiman here, and Scott Neiman lets him by. So that's a really nice thing for him to do. It's a little gentleman's agreement from a back marker to let him by. Travis Valdez crosses the line. He goes 14th. Back to 14th. That's where he was after the incident occurred. So he's probably doing a lot better now. And there goes Colin Luckhurst across the line. Paulo Langer still across. Trey Mistack, also P5 here. Joshua Willis goes into the pit lane, and he is going to serve as mandatory pit stop. We're going to see a shakeup in the order. Tyler Tier goes across the line. Goes in the pit lanes. That's Noah Hodgkinson. And Eric Rodriguez still battling it out. They are pushing, and they're going to have to go for that overcut. I guess that's what the plan is here. As we have P1 through P7 who have not gone into the pit lane just yet. Steve McAllister in P13 also a driver has not gone into the pit lane just yet. And Kyle Aiken, another driver who's not fueled up for the final stint. Really going to be an interesting shakeup as Joshua Grosso goes across the line. He goes to P8, takes 2 positions from the pit lane. But it's anybody's guess. Joshua Grosso was P4. He's definitely going to make back at least some of those positions, but how many? What do we have in store for some of these drivers here? As Matt Shack goes into the pit lane, Paulo Langer goes in the pit lane, Colin Luckhurst goes P1 from the pits. Colin Luckhurst back in. He's P1 right now. He's going to go for the overcut, but that's going to be one rough overcut. He's got a bunch of back markers in front of him. He's got to get some clean air to get a good push lap in. Eric Rodriguez stays out. He's one of the few drivers that has not done a pit just yet. Matt Shack still in the pit lane. Paulo Langer still in the pit lane. Paulo Langer's lifted up. He took 2 new tires, it must have been. Oh, that's interesting. Paulo Langer back out. Eddie Layton still in the pit lane. Noah Hoskinson still in the pit lane. Joshua Grosso is about to overtake these drivers for his position. He goes to P6. Andrew Korsecki, P7. Cody Wassam, P8. Joshua Willis is behind him. And holy! Cody Wassam does the undercut, and it works. Joshua Willis is 2.2 seconds behind him. And that is just fierce. Andrew Korsecki is in P8, but he wants to be attacking P7. David Gauntlet is just ahead of him, and he does not have to automatically give the position, but oh, there he goes. He lets him by on the outside. Noah Hodgkinson drops to P10. Steve McAllister's P11. Travis Valdez goes to P12. Miller is in P13. Where's Joshua Grosso? He was P7. Now he's P6. That's Eddie Layton on an outlap. He lost out a couple positions for the undercut. Matt Shack goes across the line. He overtakes Colin Luckhurst. Of course, he was going to do that. Paulo Langer across the line. He goes back to P2. Colin Luckhurst is coming out of the pit lane. But where's Eric Rodriguez? He is P4, and he is sitting in the pit lane. Joshua Grosso goes across the line, and he takes back one position. That's P5 for him, but Eddie Layton is just ahead of him for P4, so he still lost one position to an overcut by Eddie Layton. What a move. Miller, across the line, goes to P12. Noah Hoskinson sitting in P9 at the moment with Eric Rodriguez right behind him. A big shakeup in the top 10 has happened, folks, and that is just wild. Craig Carroll crosses the line. He goes to P14. Steve McAllister is in the pit lane right now. Trey Mistack. Oh, what happened there? Trey Mistack is P17. That does not make any sense at all to P16. What happened to this driver? He was in the top 10, and now he's well outside the points. You hate to see it, folks. And jumping on board with Joshua Grosso, looks to make a little peek down the inside line, but is ultimately going to slot back in. And Joshua Grosso has had a really strong performance in this race. You know, he had his battles with Travis Valdez, was able to overtake him finally. And when that happened, you know, he put himself in a good position. He was not far behind the top 3, and he was also just enough of a brush away from the drivers behind him. Eddie Layton seemed to be one of those drivers that went for an undercut, and it worked by a good margin. Andrew Korostecki, another driver who went in for an undercut, and it paid off. He's P6. Cody Wassam, another driver that went for the undercut, and it paid off. He overtook Joshua Willis in the pits, and then just behind him is David Gauntlet in P20. And no moves yet out of those drivers. Kyle Aiken goes into the pit lane from P20. Loses out to David Gauntlet for P20 there. P19, I should say. Going down the order here, we have Chris Lambeth in P17. Trey Mistack makes up one position to go into P16, but that's not much. Considering where he was at the start of this race, I truly wish I knew what happened there. Scott Neiman in P15. Greg Carroll in P14. Tyler Tier off, it seems. And let's just take a look at what happened there. A little too much speed going into turn 1 and clipped the wall good enough. Giving himself a little bit of damage there. That's unfortunate, but he's still sitting in P13. Miller, car number 12. He's P12. And he's sitting in P12. Just a little bit of distance to Travis Valdez, about 2.7 seconds. Travis Valdez not too far outside the points there in P11. With a 5-second gap to Eric Rodriguez, though. Gonna be difficult. Eric Rodriguez down the outside. Hodgkinson in the inside, defending against Eric there. And that is P9 held up by Noah. Unaware that he was actually battling it out there and maintains position. As we have 9 laps to go at Road Atlanta. Joshua Willis sitting in P8 with Cody Wassam just ahead of him. By what kind of margin you think? It's good enough. 2.2 seconds. He's held it, and he's consistent with it. Joshua Willis did a 119.2 last lap, and Wassam did a 119 even, so 0.2 difference. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him just yet. Definitely going to make some moves there. It's Andrew Korostecki sitting in P6 comfortably, I should say. And there goes Joshua Grosso, and Eddie Layton made the move work and sticks. He goes back to P4 over Eddie Layton. And that is just, you know, a masterclass of driving here for Joshua Grosso, who's maintained good position throughout this race. I'm not even sure where he started, but it definitely must help. Going back to the grid here, Joshua Grosso is up 4 positions from P8. So what a good turn of events for this driver. And Colin Luckhurst with an 8.1 second gap to Paolo, a 5.4 second gap to Joshua behind him. It looks like he's just going to be in his own little race. Same thing with Paolo Langer with a 2.6 second gap to Matt Shack in front of him in P1. Our race leader with a 2.5 second gap after the pit. He didn't lose too much time to Paolo, as they both went in at the same time, so it's just about 1 second difference. He was about 3.6 seconds up. Now he's only 2 seconds up. Actually 2.5, so just lost 1 full second there. And here we have Tyler Tier. He's got David Gauntlet and Kyle Aiken. I would assume those two guys are teammates. They both, you know, in that Galaxy livery. But they are a lap down. But totally within the rights if they want to try to unlap themselves from Tyler Tier. But it's all about who has the pace. Do they feel like they have the ability to move past Tyler Tier. It's anyone's guess. David Gauntlet, Kyle Aiken both did. Oh, David Gauntlet just went across the line. He did a. I don't know if that's correct. It says he did a 125-1. He must have had a kind of a big slip up. But Kyle Aiken behind him, and possibly his teammate, did a 119 even. Tyler Tier did a 121. So there's definitely some pace that Kyle Aiken has that he's kind of foregoing to stay in the position he's at. But maybe David Gauntlet lets him go by. No! And that is a wreck. And Kyle Aiken continues. And yeah, that was poor camera ship there on that exciting bout. A little slip up there as Joshua Grosso getting ever so closer to Steve McAllister. He's got to pass him good and quick because he doesn't want to get held up by a driver who's a lap down, and Eddie Layton can reel him in because of it. And there goes Steve McAllister letting Joshua Grosso by, perhaps? Yeah, he brakes. He lets them both by. That's a gentleman's agreement there. And then there goes Andrew Korostecki right behind him. Also lets him by. And pretty soon we're going to probably be seeing that out of Cody Wassum as well. We're on lap 28. Almost lap 29 here. And Eddie Layton just keeping it together. Was, staying in P5. Take a look and see. He was P4, so only losing out one position at the start of this race. Going up, down one. And there's Noah Hodgkinson. And, ooh, look at that. Noah Hodgkinson's flashing his lights. Maybe he didn't like that. Maybe he didn't like that. Let's take a look. Eric Rodriguez goes ahead of him for P9. But what did it look like when they were exiting? Dives down the inside line there and keeps him honest as they go through. Ooh, just cuts him off a little bit. I don't know what you could say about that, but it's a little, it's a move. And it's a move that worked. He could easily, they could easily collided there. We definitely saw that earlier in this race. You cut back onto the racing line too quickly, and you make some metal work. That's really what happens. Is you see some front end damage from some drivers, and some back end drivers from other cars. It's just not a good move to just cut back onto the racing line so quickly, especially through a high-speed corner. But, I think his dismay is met with the flashing lights, and that's as much as you can do during the race. But what do I know? I'm just commentating, folks. Maybe he's saying, you did great. I liked exactly that move that you made against me. That's exactly what the flashes mean. For each flash, it's a word. That's what I would point that down to. But Eric Rodriguez still maintaining P9. And possibly his team... No, not his teammate. Just have the same livery. Andrew Korostecki in P6. I know he's had quite the drive. He started P16. He's down 10 full positions. And that is amazing result for Andrew Korostecki. If he can hold it off for 4 more laps, as we have Eddie Layton and Joshua Grosso going for it. Not just yet. 4/10 off. It looked like it from the angle, folks. But Eddie Layton is just going to stay alongside and stay in that toe. Oh, and Scott Neiman's out from the... Just went into the pits for some reason. He's back out. Chris Lambeth has overtaken him for a P16. A little odd, I should say. And Travis Valdez had a 5-second gap to these drivers, and he's now back 1.2 seconds to Noah Hoskinson. He's definitely going to try to make up some positions here. You know, stem the bleeding as he was P5 or and that pack that was formed before the pits has just spread apart based on that. You know, it's really difficult to keep a group of drivers together when some of them end up pushing, trying to do their overcuts, some doing the undercut. And now all of the pack racing has kind of dissipated, folks. And they are all in a league of their own. Kyle Aiken's still out there on track, and Dave Gauntlet's in the pits. Trey Mistack takes one position more. Goes to P15. Tyler Tier has not lost 13 just yet. Noah Hoskinson and Eric Rodriguez battling it back out. And Noah Hoskinson takes the lead from Eric Rodriguez. And let's just pull back just a little bit, folks. I think, yeah, just makes it happen. Side by side, late on the braking, makes it happen, makes it stick, and he's ahead. But they've been going back and forth all race. They have 2 more laps to go, and Noah's just going to have to hold on and maintain position. He's got a fast driver behind him of Eric Rodriguez, as well as Travis Valdez, both nipping at his heels any second now. The same move he had done on Eric could be done to him down that back straight. And Noah Hoskinson flashing his lights to Steve, hoping he's going to get out of the way before the end of this straightaway. But, I mean, to be fair, he's got to catch him by the end of the straightaway, which I don't think is going to happen. But I'm sure Steve is going to make a move that is befitting of a gentleman, as he's done so all race. And that might be it. Just let him by. But he's only letting one driver by. And through the next, you know, set of turns, it's going to be very difficult to like try to spread out and let them by. So that's going to push back Eric Rodriguez and Travis Valdez. And that's going to make it easier for Travis Valdez to attack. As now he's got Steve helping him out ever so slightly. He's going to move down the inside line. There goes Eric Rodriguez. He's going to go 3 wide. No! He does it. He dives down the inside line, and he overtakes Eric Rodriguez for position. That is P10 for Travis Valdez, and he keeps it together. What a move, folks. And that is the white flag as Matt Shack, Shake Shack Matt, the provincial championship leader, running right now, still maintaining that lead by 1.3 seconds off of Paulo Langer. Paulo Langer just behind him. And then Colin Luckhurst down 12 seconds to P2. Joshua Grosso now has Eddie Layton to contend with, but that doesn't look like a move. It's close enough, but Eddie Layton's going to be able to stick on the backside. Still not yet making that move. And this finale is almost over, as Matt Shack is about to cross the line. There's a checkered. Matt Shack takes P1, and what a race for Matt Shack. Once again, the leader, Paulo Langer in P2. Colin Luckhurst is going to cross the line into P3. Joshua Grosso having to contend with Eddie Layton all race. Is Eddie Layton trying to make a move into the final corner? He doesn't. Jumps down the line, but it's already across. There goes P4 for Joshua Grosso, Eddie Layton in P5, Andrew Korostecki in 6, Cody Wasson crosses the line in P7, Joshua Willis in P8, Noah Hodgkinson holding out P9, Travis Valdez takes P10, Eric Rodriguez in 11, Miller De Rajo in P12. Didn't say that right. Tyler Tier in P13. Craig Carroll is going to be taking P14 for sure. Trey Mistack in P15. Chris Lambeth crossed the line already in P16. Scott Neiman crossed the line in P17. Steve McAllister in P18. Kyle Aiken across the line in P19. David Gauntlet in P20. Robert Event in 21. Joey Jr. in 22. Eric Neberhani in P23. Zachary Bryant in P24. And that's it, folks. White the... Oh. Little shake up there as they're bowling Matt Shack. Not letting him do his victory... victory donuts, maybe. Definitely some shenanigans happening down in the S's. And Craig Carroll slips on through. And yes, that's Joshua Grosso and Noah Hodgkinson just damaging that beautiful car and that championship winning car. Not letting him have the moment. And there goes Joshua Grosso making sure. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. The round 7 next Sunday is going to be at the Nordschleife. That's going to be a very big one. I hope you come to watch it. It's going to be very exciting. That's it for us at Road Atlanta. What a fantastic race. And see you on Tuesday for the F4. Oh, whoa. There's Craig Carroll doing an insane stunt. Take care. Have a good night.